Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new to my craft room, then welcome. Today we're going to be making some of these cute little angels. They're going to have some little jingle bells in there to make them sound really pretty. And we're going to make them out of these badminton little birdies. I saw these at Dollar Tree and I thought, what more perfect little thing to make than little angels out of these? Why not? You know, I used to make something similar to this with the big bells, which used to be pretty inexpensive. You could get like 3 of them in a pack for like $1, and now they are so expensive. You can buy one, I think they're like $1.39 a piece now, which is absolutely crazy. So I thought, find an alternative here, and I think these would be a great little gift for somebody, or even for craft fairs, whatever you might want to do. But that's what we're going to use. You get 4 of these in a pack. These are just, they come in this little netted thing. They usually have them hanging in with the toys, and they're just called Outdoor Fun Badminton Birdies, set of 4. So I did grab myself a couple packs of these because I want to make a few more. I'm going to use some of these little jingle bells from Dollar Tree. I'm going to actually use some smaller ones to do the video because I don't want them to be making so much noise while we're doing this. But I did use these. These are the ones you get 50 in here. They have all different sizes. Whatever size you want to use is fine. They have these bigger ones like this, which are really nice to use in there, which I did use in a couple of these. But I'm going to use these little bitty ones for this one, just so we're not making so much noise. I think I'm going to add 3 of those in here because they're not as loud as the other ones. But yeah, these are a lot of fun. I'll show you the ones I made here. Now all of these are going to be made exactly the same way. It just pretty much all depends on how you want to decorate these little guys. And that's the little angel wings on there. You can hear the little jingle bells in there. They're just so cute. So I made that one with that. This one I wanted to try with some like printed ribbon. This, I believe I got this ribbon at Walmart last year, but you can find pretty ribbon just about anywhere right now. And they all got their little, I think these were the bigger ones. I just put 2 in there, little jingle bells. And then I made this one here with just some silver and gold. And again, here little jingle bells. But yeah, they're so cute. And they make a nice little ornament. And these would just be, I don't know, something really cute to give to somebody too. So you're going to grab one of your little birdies here. I already have one painted ready to go, but I just used some, this is called Toasted Marshmallow. Whatever skin tone you want to use, that's, you know, up to you. But I'm going to use this one. I really didn't have anything else, so this worked out pretty good. And I did have to put about 3 coats on these things to cover up the red, but it's very easy. You just go around like this, and then, you know, you want to get under here. And I wanted to cover up all the red, even on the top, even though it's going to have hair on it, because I was afraid that red might show through. So that is all I did for these little guys. Was just painted them up real easy. Don't even have to be real careful under here because it's going to get covered up. But yeah, so there. That's going to be the little head. Now the ones I used to do with the bells, I used to have to use a wooden, what are they called? I forget. They have a hole in the center of them, like a dowel cap. And I used to use those on top of my things. But yeah, just paint them up. Doesn't look too bad with 2 coats, but I did do 3 because it just didn't seem to cover it up enough. But you could probably get away with 2. This one here is a little bumpy. I didn't notice that until it got dry. But, you know, most of these are pretty smooth. And if you want to get them somewhere else, you don't have to use the Dollar Tree ones if you don't want to, the little birdies. You'll probably get better quality ones somewhere else. But I figured to save some money, we're going to use these. Alright, so now the first thing I'm going to do is put the bells on. You can do that last. It's kind of a pain if you do it last because you got to pull up all this ribbon out of your way to do it. So it's easier just to put these on first. So I'm just going to take a piece of this. This is just nylon thread. I got this at Dollar Tree over the summer. But, you know, whatever thread you have is fine. And I actually used this big needle. You really don't need the needle. It just makes it quicker to get through here for me. So I used a needle. And then I'm just going to stick this through here underneath this first little separation. I'm just going to put that in here. And then I'm going to add my 3 bells and leave your piece hanging out the end there. So I'm just going to loop these little bells on here real quick. It's just easier with a needle because they just slide on real easy. Alright, so there's our little bells on here. And we're going to get them down there in the center. And then you're going to go across the other side of it through one of those other little separations. And then bring it up over top of that one. If you can see that, I hope. And then back across the other side where your other piece of thread is. And then, whoops, easy for me to say, right? Where's my other thread? There we are. And right back across the other side, and then just tie that, and then you have your little bells on the inside there. That was the easiest way I found to do this. And you want to leave a little slack in it so the bells hang a little bit, you know, so they jingle nice. And then just knot it a few times. There we go. And then just cut off your, whoops, cut off your excess. Come on, fingers. Can't get a hold of it. There we go. And then just trim your stuff off. And there you have your little jingly bells in there. So that's the first thing you're going to want to do with those, just to make it easier. Alright, also going to use a piece of this. I'm going to actually take this right now, and then you want to figure out how long you want your little string on the top to hang it. And then I'm just going to like tie a knot in the bottom here of my loop. And we're going to put that on here in a second. But first I like to draw the little face on, because then you know where your front is all the time while you're putting this together. So all I used to put the face on these was a Sharpie, one of the extra, I think these are the extra fine point, ultra fine they're called, point Sharpies, just a black Sharpie. And then, let me get that out of the way. Figure out, this one's really bumpy. This side looks pretty good, so we'll put the little face here. Now all I do for the face is I make three little half moons. I start down here to make the little mouth. Come on, Sharpie, don't die on me here. I might have to find another one. There we go. Make her little mouth, and then I go like really close to the top of the mouth there, and then I just make another little half moon here, and then another little half moon over here, like so. And then I just add some little eyelashes. I think that just makes it look really precious. So I'm just going to draw some lines down. I make them kind of big too, just so they really stand out. And there, and that's the little face. So I like to do that first, that way it's just easier to get your hair on the right spot, and this one's really an odd shape. The other ones weren't quite that high. And then I always use a little blush. You could use paint or whatever, but I just have this old blush, and I just take a Q-tip and just get some of the blush on the Q-tip, and then just kind of swirl that on the cheeks a little bit, just so it makes this little really pale looking rosy cheeks. So you have your little rosy cheeks on there. I've had this for years. I saved this old blush to do all these little rosy cheeks. Alright, so then the first thing, before I even put this little loop on, we're going to put on the dress. So this is what I thought I would try this. Now all these were made with the 2.5 inch wired ribbon from Dollar Tree. This one was out in the fall, and I put this away because I thought this would be perfect for Christmas. That's what all of these are. They have this out right now at Dollar Tree, this really pretty gold ribbon with like glitter on it. This sheds quite a bit while you're working with it, but not too bad once you're done. So I think I'm going to use that for the wings on this one. So you're just going to take your ribbon, and we're going to start in the back. And this is really easy to do. So right here is the back. So we're just going to tuck this one little piece here right up underneath this little head, and then we're just going to make little pleats in it. You're just going to fold this over. It's probably like a 1/4 inch pleat. Fold that one that way, and then I fold the next one the opposite way, just to make these little pleats. And then just glue that down as you go. You don't have to cut this off and waste any ribbon. You can just do it as you go, and then when we get the other side, I think this is going to be cute. Get to the other side, you can just cut it off. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to put another little pleat there. And just glue as you pleat. Real simple. And then while you're holding that one to cool off, you just make your next little pleat. And like I said, I go the opposite direction each one. Just to give her a nice big puffy dress here. There we go. I don't want glue on her face. There we go. And we'll hold that one down there. Now this pleat needs to go this way, like so. And you can make them wider apart or closer together. Depends on how full you want the little dress to be. I like them to be really nice and puffy looking. Alright, so that's folded there. Tuck that under there. Now this one needs to go this way. I believe, yes. And then we're just going to glue that one there. And we're almost done with the dress already. So then this one I need to fold. Actually, I'm going to fold this one the same way here in the back. Just to get it there. Alright, so now you have that over there. We're going to glue this last piece on. And then you're going to see where you want to cut this. Now, you're going to cut it more or less like on an angle, because of the way it's, you know, laying on here right now. Actually, I could put another pleat in this one. No, I think I'm going to leave that be. Alright, so then you'll see under here, see how it comes down like on an angle. So you're going to want to cut this so it's little, so it just covers the first one here. You want to make it a little bit longer, and then you're just going to cut this up on an angle towards the back of the head. And I'll show you this here in a second. See what I mean, how it's cut like on an angle because it's much smaller at the top. So now I'm going to try and tuck this under a little bit since we have a raw edge there. And I think I'll be able to do that. So we're just going to fold this one over and add it right here to the bottom of our first one. And then just glue that down so it's nice and even. Like so. Oh, the webs. Alright, and then we're just going to fold this over and run a little bit of glue here and then tack that down. So you have a nice finished edge in the back, which you're not going to see that much anyway because the little angel wings are going to go back there. We'll get all these webs off of here in a minute. Alright, so now what I like to do is the hair. So before I put the hair on, oh look how cute that little dress is going to be. That's when you're going to want to put on your little holder here, because this is going to go right up on the top here to hang your ornament. So we're going to take this and add a little bit of glue to hold that down. Now we're going to be adding more glue to this, so it'll hold real good. So while that's cooling off, we're going to start working with this hair. This is the hardest part. I mean, it's not hard, but it just sometimes drives me crazy because it sticks to my fingers. Ooh, who's blowing the horn? Oh, it's a garbage truck. Now this hair I've had for a long time. You can get this stuff in where they have like the doll making things and stuff like at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or you can order it on Amazon. But it's just this really cool, like really curly, synthetic kind of hair. But the curls on here are too big. I couldn't find any that were smaller. So I just kind of ball this stuff all up. I'll show you here what I'm talking about. Just take a whole bunch of it here. If I can get a bunch. And, you know, you can add more or less as you go here. You can trim it, whatever. But we're just going to grab a whole big pile of this stuff. Excuse me. Right here, put it in your palm of your hand and just kind of roll it around into like a ball. So it's going to look like kind of crazy, crazy hair. But that's how these all looked, and then, you know, that's kind of how they look when they're done. But unless you can find some really tight, tiny curls, let me roll these around just a little more. I just roll it around in my hand. There we go. And then I try to find some where there's some pretty curls, and then I use that for the front. All right, so let's take our little thing here and move that to the back. Stay back there for a minute. There we go. Keep that out of my way here. So we're going to find the part that has like the prettiest curls on it, and we're going to put those right here in the front. Can't get a hold of the string. There we go. So you're just going to put a nice little line of hot glue right in the front there, and then find the prettiest curls, which are right about there. And you're going to just tack that down in the front so she has some really pretty curls. Now this looks like a giant mess, I know, but it'll get better. All right, so then you're going to hold that down, and then you want to pull some of this hair down to the side. The main thing is just get it on here, and then you can kind of trim it and fix it however you want it to look. I may have to add, no, I might have enough to come down this side. Let's see. Try to separate some of this a little bit. There we go. I know, it looks like a mess when you first start working with it. Trust me, it's gonna get better. Alright, so now we're gonna glue some of that down right there to the sides. And I'll probably add a few more little curls in here when we're done. And now you want to pull up your little hanger, so we can keep that up on the top, pull that down towards the front so we can get some of this back covered up. So now we're just going to take some glue, just squeeze it around the back of his head, push down some more of this little hair. And then I'm going to have to add a little bit more over here. So let me grab a few of these little curls here and roll them around my hand. There we go. And then we're just going to add that to the back here. Just to give her a nice full head of hair. And then just keep pushing it down into the glue. And then she looks like a crazy mess still. But she'll be okay, I promise. So I want to get my pretty curls here in the front. And then we're going to trim a lot of this down. Now that it's attached. Give her just a little bit of a haircut. Be careful you don't cut your hanger. Needs a little more over here. Alright, let's pull this to the front here. Just give her a little haircut back here to make it all nice and even. Sorry, I keep pulling this up closer to see what I'm doing. Hopefully I didn't have that too far out of view. Alright, so now I have some of this leftover stuff I just cut off, and I want to fill in over here is a little thin. So we're just going to take that and put that right in there. And there is her crazy, crazy hair. Yeah, it would be better if I could find the right kind of hair for this, but I didn't feel like going out to find any more since I have so much of this stuff. This is really bushy right here, so let's take a little bit of that off. There we go. Alright, so there's her hair. We don't want that hanging over your face. There we go. So that is how her hair will look in the front. And now she's going to get her little halo. For that, what I used was, I may still add some more curls on here, but I can do that later, because that's what I did with, like, you can see over here where I added, so they look more curly and not so frizzy looking. I kind of had to do that with all of them, but that's easier to do once you get everything done and you're not messing around with it anymore. So I'll let me leave a couple pieces of this out here so I can do that in the end. Alright, so let me put the rest of this hair back in this bag. Alright, so that is the hair. Now what I used for most of these, this stuff I actually took off of one of the Dollar Tree ornaments, or Dollar Tree decorations. I think this was on, I want to say it was on a pumpkin or a pineapple, one of the two. You know how they have them framed ones with all the glitter stuff wrapped around them? So I took it all off and I saved it, and this worked out perfectly for this. So you're just going to make yourself a loop, just kind of see how it looks, and then just cut it off and twist it together like so, and there you go, you have your little halo. And then we're going to add a little glue to it to the front here, and then we got to get our hanger to go up through there, which I should have probably done before I put the glue on, but anyway, there we go. Yep, stuck my finger right in it. Get that to come up, and then you're going to place that down where you want it. And I kind of like to get it to go through the hair. But there's her little halo. If I'd stop sticking it to my fingers. Alright, let me get this out of the way here too. Okay. And then you can go around. Oh, look at, I just stuck that right in my hair. Then you can just go around and tack this down in different places. And then I'm going to tack it down over here too. There we go. And there is her little halo. Glue webs. But there, that's her little halo sticking up in the top. Alright, now for her little wings in the back, that halo could have been a little bit bigger. Her hair is just too much. Let's trim a little more here. She's looking a little bushy on the sides. Oops. There we go. Well, we'll worry about that until the end. Alright, so we have her hair on, we have her dress on, and her halo now. So now we need to make her wings. I think I'm going to use another piece of this because this stuff is really pretty. Let me cut this off so it's even. Now for this little thing here, I take 12 inches. I just take my ruler, measure it all the way down here, and then just cut this up at 12 inches. And this will be her little wings. So then you're going to fold that in half. Your 12-inch piece, and again, this is all the 2.5 inch ribbon. Move these guys back a little bit. And then you're going to put a line of glue down the center, and take one end there and fold that over and glue it down. And then you're going to put another little line of glue here, and take your other end, and then glue that down to the center too. So then all your center lines are pretty much disappear on this ribbon. Let me move these scissors. Alright, and then I just took a pipe cleaner. You can use these for the halos too if you don't have the other stuff. You can use the pipe cleaners. This stuff is, I used it on one of these. It's like a different kind of gold color. It's not exactly the right. But I make like 3 pleats in here. Like 1, 2, 3. You know, just kind of like you would fold like a fan. And then take your pipe cleaner and wrap that around. Give it a few good twists. Cut that off. And just fold that over. Then I try to like flatten that out a little bit. I've still got this stuffy stuff going on, but otherwise I feel pretty good now that I'm getting rid of this virus. But it's just this lingering plugged up ear mainly is what's driving me crazy. So there, kind of looks like a little bow tie. So then I'm going to put a nice big amount of glue back here. Whoops, I need some more glue. Just like right across here, like an inch wide of the glue. And then you're going to turn your little angel around and put this right on the back, just like so. And then you kind of want to turn around front, make sure you have it nice and even. So that's going to get glued right back there. I'll hold that for a couple seconds here, and then we're going to fluff these all up once this glue cools off, so they'll look nice and, you know, puffed up like these little angel wings. Alright, I'm really liking this check print on here. I think this looks really cool if you're into more like the country kind of things. That's really pretty. I actually might use some jute string to make a bow on this one too. Alright, so that is pretty much it for that. So now all you have to do is figure out what you want to use to decorate this thing. Now I have all kinds of stuff here. I've been using one of these, what are they calling these, frosted greenery from Dollar Tree, and just cutting pieces of this off because it's so darn pretty. Make sure my glue's cooling good there. And you don't need much because these guys are so little, so I just, fine, I want a nice frosted one here. Let me take that off of there. I just took my scissors and just cut some of these little pieces off because these little guys are so tiny, you don't need a lot. You could make several just out of one of these little pieces of greenery. So these are very inexpensive little things to make. There we go, we got some greenery. I have some berries here. These were berries I picked up at Dollar Tree the other day. I also have some of this little beaded pearl stuff. I don't know where I got this stuff. It's real tiny. It's like an opalescent kind of thing. But you can find stuff like this like at Michael's or whatever. I may add a piece of this to this too. Let me cut a piece of this off. So I think that'll be pretty on here. And I do think I want to grab a piece of jute string. So hang on, I will be right back. Alright, I grabbed a ball of this jute string here. This is from Dollar Tree too. Pretty much everything here is from Dollar Tree except this, the hair, I think, and the paint, and then whatever decorations you want to use. I don't know how many of these. Maybe I'll just make a double bow. So I'm just going to take a piece of this, fold it in half, and cut it here. And let's just make a little bow out of this. Make this one more country glam. There we go. But you can use whatever you want. There's so many pretty ribbons. Actually, these other ones that I did over here is this pretty trim that you get from Dollar Tree that they have out now. They have all different kinds. They have these in silver and gold. Yeah, I used the silver one on here. Makes a really pretty bow too. And there's the gold trim on that one. This one I just used some ribbon that I had, a little tiny ribbon, but we're going to make this little bow here. Not quite right. Oh, come on now. There we go. Good enough. Alright, let me trim that down a little bit. These scissors aren't wanting to work. I've got glue and everything else stuck on them. I need to clean them good. Alright, well, we can trim that better when we get done. I think that'll be good right there. Yes, ma'am. Alright, but before I put this on, I'm actually going to glue some of these greens to it. We're just going to hook everything on the back of these little bows. See how these want to stick out of there just a little bit. Like so. And then I'll put one on the other side. And you don't need much glue or anything for this part. Yeah, that one's real nice and frosty looking. There, I think that looks pretty. And then I think I want to add these little pearls to dangle down too. These are fun. I used to put these on my other bell angels that I used to make. I'll tell you what, these little angels and things like this used to be like my #1 seller when I used to do craft shows. I haven't done them in probably, I don't know, 15 years maybe. It just got really old. I mean, it's fun, but you know, after you make something like 50 times, you really just don't want to make them anymore. So that's pretty much why I gave up doing craft shows. It just got very monotonous, very time consuming. Plus I was working full time then too, and doing that kind of stuff on the weekends. Ah, let go. Oh, I wonder if a snowflake would look cute on this. I have some of these little snowflakes from AliExpress. Those little plastic snowflakes, I use these all the time. I think that would look darling on this bow. Dollar Tree had, I haven't seen them yet this year, but they had the really pretty snowflakes out last year too that you can use for embellishments. I don't think I have any of those out here. Was using them the other day. Anyway, we'll use this one. But they're more of like a glass looking snowflake, the ones that Dollar Tree had. I was just looking, I had some out here. But anyway, we're just going to add that little snowflake on there. And then we're just going to put some glue back here and glue this right underneath her neckline there. And then she's got this pretty, I'm going to trim this up, it's too small. But look how cute that is. Alright, let me trim these off, they're a little bit too long. There we go. But like I said, you can add whatever you want to these. But that is it. That is how I make these little angels. The only thing left to do here now is just to open up the wings. And they look so pretty. I mean, you see how this stuff sheds when you're working with it, but it does kind of stop doing that. So yeah, just stick your fingers in there and puff those little wings up. And there we go. There we have our little country glam little angel with her little jingle bells. But that's it. That's how I made all of these. I think I'm pretty done with the hair. It looks fine. Like I said, once you get it all on there and mess around with it and trim it, it doesn't look like a big fuzzy mess anymore. It looks like just curly hair, which I can identify with the curly hair stuff. But anyway, that's it. I'll put a nice picture of all of these at the end here without all this clutter around. And then you can, get a nice good look at these. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you liked this little idea. And I will see you guys all next time. Have a great day, everyone.